Welcome back to What Was That? I'm Gabe Sanchez. The full jury for Donald Trump's criminal trial is now set, and it has been quite a whirlwind so far. Trump fell asleep multiple times, he admitted to his crimes to the press, he violated his gag order, and now he's farting in court. We knew this trial would be a mess, but this thing stinks to high heaven. But let's back up a second. During one of Trump's many rants outside the courtroom, he said this.
Every legal pundit, every legal scholar said this trial is a disgrace. We have a Trump-hating judge. We have a judge who shouldn't be on this case. He's totally conflicted. But this is a trial that should never happen. It should have been thrown out a long time ago. If you look at Jonathan Turley, Andy McCarthy, all great legal scholars, there's not one that we've been able to find that said this should be a trial. I was paying a lawyer and marked it down as a legal expense. Some accountant, I didn't know, marked it down as a legal expense. That's exactly what it was. And you've been indicted over that? I should be right now in Pennsylvania, in Florida, in many other states, North Carolina, Georgia, campaigning. This is all coming from the Biden White House because the guy can't put two sentences together. He can't campaign. They're using this in order to try and win an election, and it's not working that way. It's working the opposite way. So check it out. Legal expense. It's called legal expense. That's what you're supposed to call it. Mr. Trump, you get indicted on that. Nobody's ever seen it. Nobody has ever seen anything like it. So thank you very much for coming. I'm now going to sit down for many hours. I am now going to sit down. The voters understand it. All you have to do is look at the polls. This is a sham trial, and the judge should recuse himself because it's totally conflicted. Thank you very much.
Trump knows he has the right to remain silent, right? Like his lawyers told him that? Who am I kidding? It's Trump. He'll never stop talking. So, I guess thanks for the confession.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Donald Trump has now admitted to doing the very thing he's on trial for, so I fully expect this to be used against him in court. Now, if Trump's self-incrimination wasn't funny enough, he came back with a stack of printed Republican op-eds as if it was evidence to prove his innocence.
They don't like Bragg's chances on this case. It's a disgrace. That's a nice headline. I'd like to read that one too. But every one of them lies about the case. Justice is on trial. You know, the whole world is watching this New York scam. The trial spectacle begins. That's Wall Street Journal. It's a spectacle. Every one of these. America is a third world country. Daily Caller.
Trump even whined about the courtroom being cold.
And it's a shame. It's a shame. And I'm sitting here for days now, from morning till night, in that freezing room. Freezing. Everybody was freezing in there. And all for this. And this is your result. Look at that. Each one of them a story. And it's very unfair. Very bad thing. Very bad thing. The whole world is watching this hoax.
This is just sad. The orange idiot is losing his marbles and now possibly his bowels. In less than a week, Donald Trump went from Don Snorleone to Don Fartleone. Pretty impressive if you ask me. It's been reported that while Trump was scoring a naptime hat trick in the courtroom, he also suffered from a fart attack. Ben Meiselas from MeidasTouch reported via journalists at the courthouse that Donald Trump was producing a putrid odor. This was also confirmed by George Conway. I believe we have footage of people reacting to this inside the courthouse.
Smells like a used diaper filled with Indian food. Oh!
And there's also this.
What is that? It smells like a turd covered in burnt hair.
As the saying goes, if there's smoke, there's fire. Or I guess in this case, if there's odor, there's gas. Now, is that the reason that Trump's lawyers decided to play musical chairs in the courtroom? Who's to say, but I'm sure it didn't help. I can almost smell a new series from Dick Wolf and NBC, Law and Odor. But none of this should be surprising, especially when you remember that people who have worked with Trump have shared stories, like Adam Kinzinger or James Carville or even Kathy Griffin.
What is, because, you know, as you've mentioned, you've met Donald a lot, you were on the show more than once, or I know with Liza Minnelli. And
I was part of challenges for the Celebrity Apprentice twice. One is part of a challenge for my dear departed friend, Joan Rivers. And then, one was as the Civilian Apprentice when Liza was the headliner and I was the host of an event. I did spend an afternoon with the Donald and Liza Minnelli.
Oh.
And let me tell you, I don't know what Liza was on, but I should have been on that too. With love, I say that with love. But yes,
Well, whatever it takes.
The Donald has a distinct smell that doesn't really get enough press. It's like body odor with kind of like a scented makeup products, but you can smell the hair products even outdoors. Don't make that face. I'm just being honest.
Even comedian Noel Castler, who was a former staffer on The Apprentice, could attest to this.
The nickname for The Apprentice, if you're a boom operator on that show, is the shit show. Because he'd shit himself publicly. Remember how I told you about the words like arbitrage?
Yeah.
So if he saw a word he didn't like and he couldn't pronounce, which is basically any 3-syllable word, he would freak out and he'd fly into a rage and then it would let loose.
And if there's anything we know about Diaper Don, it's that he's a stand on our democracy and he will try to turn this trial into another one of his shit shows. And who could forget that one time that Donald Trump wore a diaper to the WWE? If only Trump's team would make his diapers out of the same silver-infused and odor-fighting fabric that Miracle Made sheets are made from. Which reminds me, make sure to check out today's sponsor, Miracle Made. Did you know that traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat? It can lead to acne, allergies, and stuffy noses, and it's just gross. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning antibacterial bedding, such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and require up to 3 times less laundry. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, so you get better sleep every night. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands and feel as nice if not nicer than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe to try Miracle Sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo Gabe at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe and use the code Gabe to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Gabe to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Now, you might be saying, Gabe, why are you talking about this? Well, it's simple. We know Trump cares more about his image and reputation than anything, and that includes his wives and his kids. One of the most effective ways to break down Trump's weak facade and get under his skin is to mock him. It's a necessary tactic, and I'm not the only one who thinks this.
Mocking him is very important, because his supporters have such a deified view of him. I think that we should have like airplanes flying banners over his rallies. I think people would show up with a clothespin on their nose. I think that, you know, why does he stink so much? Go to the Mayo Clinic and look at possible causes of body odor. They're multitudinous. We need to know, because sometimes body odor can certainly speak to incontinence, which is all possible in somebody at that age, but it can speak to other underlying serious health issues. So I think we need to get a good sniff at this guy. And I think we should publicize the fact that people claim that he stinks. He smells bad. He's smelly. And I bet you there's some truth to it. And like any good detective, we got to find the origin of this bad smell. It depends, as we like to say.
And the same approach goes for the rest of Trump's MAGA followers and his fart. No, this isn't another joke about Trump farting. I'm talking about the House Freedom Caucus's Floor Action Response Team, aka FART, which is not to be confused with Trump's failed 2018 Fair and Reciprocal Tariff Act, aka FART Act. FART is made up of Republicans who are monitoring the chamber floor in shifts to block any sudden rule changes by the GOP leadership.
There were rumblings that Johnson might try to change House rules in order to make it harder for conservatives to oust him. That proposal, unsurprisingly, outraged conservatives who confronted the speaker on the House floor. CNN reports that Johnson was essentially pinned against the back wall of the House floor with members on all sides of him, with the speaker constantly pivoting his head as he responded to members speaking to him. Sounds hectic. If that congressional bullying circle wasn't sufficient to get Johnson in line, conservative members also put together a team to monitor the House floor to make sure that neither Johnson or his allies introduced a measure to change the rules on them. And they called themselves the Floor Action Response Team. FART. FART. Yes, that is really what they call themselves. FART. But you had to take them seriously, even though they call themselves FART. Because all day long, these conservatives were telling any reporter who would listen that they were not happy with Speaker Johnson and that they would not abide any changes to these rules. By the end of the day, Mike Johnson caved to the FART caucus. In a statement on X, he announced that he would not change the rules for ousting a speaker, a.k.a. himself, saying, "We will continue to govern under the existing rules." So Speaker Mike Johnson has zero protection right now. He cannot change the rules to stop conservative members from kicking him out of office. And the only person who can protect him here, Donald Trump, appears to be completely indifferent to Johnson's fate.
And now that Mike Johnson's position is in jeopardy, what is Trump doing?
Do you still support Speaker Johnson? Do you still support Speaker Johnson?
Trump just walked away and ignored them and maybe farted. Probably. Definitely farted. As we all know, Donald Trump doesn't care about anyone but himself, and he wants everyone to know that he's the real victim as he desperately tries to project his own problems onto President Biden.
The whole thing is a mess, and you have the leading candidate and leading crooked Joe Biden by a lot. He's the one that should be in trial. He's a crook. You got a crooked president. He should be in trial with all the stuff he's done and his family. He should be in trial, but he's the one in charge. His top people are here, working with the DA's office to make sure everything goes right. It's coming from the White House. They have White House DOJ people in the trial, in the DA's office, representing the DA because he's probably not smart enough to represent himself. The guy got elected using Trump, and you're not supposed to do that. Very much like Letitia James, all of it.
Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. And if you'd like to support the show and get early access to episodes, you can contribute to my personal Patreon at patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?